Hello, Internet. It is I, the Malik Aaron, and welcome back to Box Office Predictions. Today we are going to be talking about Dog. So, as usual, we're going to be going over the pros and cons. So, let's get to it. Pros: movie stars, and is also written and directed by Mr. Channing Tatum. This guy right here. He has quite the resume, if you ask me. you know, Especially with the amount of movies he made in the 2010s and even a little bit before that in like the early mid 2000s. But yeah, like he started in like Coach Carter as like a minor role. Then he didn't start getting really noticed until like 2006 when he was part of She's the Man and the first Step Up movie. Then after that, he did Fighting, the first GI Joe movie, a movie that we all want to forget. Um, like Dear John, The Eagle. I've never seen it. I barely know anything about that. And then The Vow. So at this point, people kind of just wrote him off. Like, ugh, this guy has no talent. Why do they keep putting him in movies? Ugh. But then 21 Jump Street changed all that. It changed the way people saw him. It made people go, "Oh my god, this dude has talent. Where was this for the past few movies?" Because in the 21, like the Jump Street movies, both 21 and 22, it really showed people that the dude can be extremely funny, extremely entertaining. Hell, 22 Jump Street has the iconic meme where he has like the worst Hispanic accent in history as he says, "My name Jeff." That is iconic. That is is eternal. That's an eternal meme right there. And then like 2012 in particular, like a decade ago, that was his year. It really was, because he had three big movies come out: The Vow, 21 Jump Street, and Magic Mike. All three made over 100 million domestic. All right, all three, which is very impressive. You don't see that happen too much nowadays with actors. Well, granted, this was like back when like many more actors had like drawing power, but nowadays you can just be a big actor, a part of a big brand, and the big brand is the reason why people see the movie, not the actor themselves, although it might be partially the reason why, but it's more about the brand than anything else. Yeah, the fact that you had three big hits in a row, 2012, very impressive. Uh, I already mentioned 22 Jump Street being a big hit. After that, things kind of get iffy. And then, like, there's just a whole lot of nothing for the next few years. He was in Free Guy, which kind of shocked me. I didn't expect him to show up. And when I saw him, I was like, oh, okay. Like, it threw me off guard. But yeah, like, he has had success in the past. And plus, he's a recognizable name, a recognizable face. So I would consider that to be a pro. Although, with every actor's track record, it's never going to be flawless. There's going to be various shortcomings. And I'll talk about those when we get to the cons. But still, I say his name is a pro here. So that's pro number one. Pro number two, as the title of the movie directly implies, it's about a dog. And I don't know if you know this, but a lot of people like dogs. A lot of people own dogs, especially where I live. As a delivery driver, I see dogs all the time. Nearly every house I go to has a dog. Like, I'm not even joking. So, we all know dogs. Not all of us love dogs, but a decent amount of people do. In the world of movies, people will pay to see dogs. I mean, there's too many examples out there of dog movies, way too many. But I can name some off the top of my head. There's Marley and Me, that's a big one. There's the Scooby Doo movies from like the early 2000s. I mean, last year we had Clifford the Big Red Dog, which did okay-ish. You got the Paw Patrol movie, which did pretty well. There's Call the Wild, which although didn't do well at all, it did better than some people thought than a lot of people thought it would. So it had that going for it. um, there's so many others. Just like trying to think. There's like Shaggy Dog with Tim Allen. Ugh. Oh god, that movie's bringing back bad flashbacks. Uh, there's some older ones like Turner and Hooch. There's like the Air Bud movies where they made a bajillion of them. Not to mention like the Snow Buddy movies, which they made a bajillion of those too. Yeah, there's a lot of dog movies out there, and because people like dogs, people will pay to see dogs. I consider that a pro. Just people like dogs. So that's pro number two. Pro number three, reviews are quite good for this movie, especially for February. I mean, last I checked on like Rotten Tomatoes RT, um, has like an 83%. Its audience score is about the same, a little higher. So that seems like this movie's getting decent or like pretty good, darn good word of mouth, which is no doubt going to help it. Because as I've said many times, it's always better to have good reviews than bad reviews. And with this, good reviews will definitely help it rather than hurt it. So, good general word of mouth that I'm seeing is yeah, it's definitely a positive. So that's pro number three. Pro number four, it doesn't say it here, but it's Thursday preview numbers. Well, actually, its preview numbers were a bit divided between Thursday and Valentine's Day, which was on Monday. So it's a mix of both. But made like 1.2 million for previews, and for a movie that isn't based off like a big brand or anything, that's actually pretty good. I mean, hell, that's more than what Death on the Nile made last week in its previews, so that's a positive sign in my eyes. So that's a pro right there. It had good preview numbers. Another pro I can think of is that this movie has had quite a bit of ads. Like they're clearly not, they didn't just give up on this movie. They've been pushing ads constantly past few weeks. Not to mention his trailer is played in front of a bunch of movies. It played in front of Spider-Man No Way Home, which is straight up maximum exposure because everybody saw Spider-Man No Way Home. So all the people who saw that movie likely saw a trailer for this, and so this movie was likely in the back of their minds. So, I mean, that doesn't mean everyone who watched Spider-Man is going to watch this. No, that's not realistic at all. But enough people saw Spider-Man and just saw this trailer like, that looks interesting. I might want to check that out. Boom. And then they check it out and then it makes money. So, yeah, I say like all the ads this is getting, plus all the like, I guess all the times the trailer is played in front of other bigger movies will only help it. So I consider that a pro. So that's pro number five. And then pro number six. I mean, when it comes to direct competition, there really isn't any. Like I think every other movie is like from a different genre. Like Uncharted is uh action adventure based. The Cursed is a horror movie. Marry Me is rom com. Death on the Nile is a who done it murder mystery movie. Uh so what else can I think of? Spider Man is a superhero movie, and Jackass Forever is like a reality comedy hybrid thing. It's hard to describe Jackass. But yeah, when it comes to like direct competition, there really isn't any that can directly impact this. So I would consider that a pro right there, a lack of direct competition. So there you go. Okay, time to get to the cons. There's several I can think of. Now, going back to Channing Tatum, sure, he's had hits in the past, but he's also had some duds, some big duds. We're going more towards this like live action stuff. There's Logan Lucky, which didn't do that great. I mean, let me look at it real quick. Oof, that didn't do great at all. It just kind of did and yeah, that was like oh god, August 2017 was such a an awful time for movies. There was like nothing. The business was just even more dead than it is now. Like, it was a really depressing time. But yeah, that tanked. Well, Hail Caesar, he was just supporting actor, so that didn't really count. Jupiter Ascending, oh no. This movie is just this movie was doomed to fail anyway. I mean, the whole movie was a disaster from how Eddie Redmayne had this weird, quiet, raspy voice, and then he suddenly just get all comically loud. So there was that, and like really stupid scenes, one of which directly involved Channing Tatum's character, Kane Wise, and like his character was like a wolf hybrid or something, so he had like pointy ears, and then like he talked about like I forgot the exact dialogue, but I think he and Mila Kunis were like talked about how like he has like well, I guess dog DNA or something, and then she was like, dogs, I always loved dogs, and I'm like, oh my god. what what am I watching? Like, ugh, it was really bad, and it bombed really bad too, as it should have, because it deserved to fail. Then last one is like White House Down, which was oof, like it tried so hard to be a blockbuster, and it just failed miserably. It had everything, it had big stars, big, you know, just big budget effects and everything, big action scenes. It was made by Roland Emmerich, had like a prime summer release date, and it completely fell apart, mainly because Olympus Has Fallen came out before it, completely stole its thunder, and it was doomed. So, yeah, Channing Tatum's, he's had some big flops on his resume, so that's not a great thing. So, I would consider that a con, his somewhat uneven track record. Although he's had hits, he's had bombs. So, yeah. So that's con number one. Con number two, although I did mention how, like, a lot of us like dogs, there is the danger of, like, the dog movie genre getting oversaturated. And that the year that it was where it felt like that happened the most was probably 2019. There was, like, three dog movies that year alone. There was like A Dog's Way Home. There was A Dog's Journey, which was a sequel to like A Dog's I didn't even mention A Dog's Purpose. How could I forget that? That made money despite the potentially destructive controversy that came with it, but it survived that controversy and made money. The sequel made nothing. Then there's also like Art of Racing in the Rain or something. That tanked. So people were just like, look, we like dogs, but stop making all these dog movies, or at least space them out a little bit. Okay? Like, because if you release too many movies, too many similar movies, like too close to each other, that's oversaturation, and that's bad. That's always a bad thing. And yeah, like, I don't know if that's gonna affect it. That I don't know if that whole oversaturation thing is gonna affect this too much, but still, it's something to note that we've had a lot of dog movies in the past few years. Although I think the last dog movie we really had was like Call of the Wild, and that was like literally 2 years ago, almost to the day. So yeah, it's been a while, but still, one would argue we've had too many dog movies. So I would consider that a relative con, not a strong con, but a relative con. So yeah. Uh, any other cons I can think of? Hmm. I mean, one could argue like the marketplace is a tad crowded now. With so many different movies going after so many different audiences, and yeah, like obviously in that situation, some movies are going to fall through the cracks. I don't think this is going to be one of them. I think The Cursed has a way bigger chance of falling through the cracks than this, but still something to note. So again, that's a relative con, not a strong con. Actually, it's more of a minor con. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And I didn't even mention how this weekend is a holiday weekend. Gosh, how did that slip my mind? Like, Obviously, with a holiday weekend, it does more, good than harm because you can make an extra bit of cash. Movies have like better weekend legs because like that Sunday is a lot stronger because people usually have Monday off, like Monday off from work and stuff. So, yeah, that's obviously going to help this movie a bit. And I guess could I guess I've been debating about this. Like, would this qualify as family friendly? I mean, the movie's like PG-13. It's a little more on the well, I wouldn't say the extreme side of PG-13, but I don't know if it's super kid friendly. But I guess some kids are gonna be like, look, mommy, daddy, look, there's a dog, and they're like, okay, and then they just watch it. Um, so I might have that going for it. We haven't had a kids movie in forever, and this doesn't qualify as one, but I can see kids watching this because of cute doggo on screen. So I guess there's that, but I really don't know. But uh, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. So opening weekend, I gotta account for like 3 day and 4 day. I didn't do that for the curse, but let's be real, nobody cares about that movie. That's just the fact. So for the 3 day, I think it could overperform maybe, but I'm gonna keep my expectations realistic. So I'm gonna say 10 million for the 3 day weekend and 13 million ish for like the 12 to 13 for like the 4 day weekend. There's total 30 million or more. That's what I'm guessing. I think that's realistic, although this has the potential to do better, but I don't want to overestimate. So yeah, that's Dog done. And then the last movie we're going to be talking about this weekend is the Uncharted, and then I'll be it. And then next week, apparently, I have two movies. I got Cyrano and the Studio 666, and then that's it for February. And then March, we talk about the Batman, and I want to see it so bad, but I can't, and it annoys me to no end. So yeah, that's all the stuff coming out in like the near future. But yeah, anywho, yeah, that's it. That's all. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, share the whole drill. Want to check out more videos like this? I got a playlist on the homepage. Of all previous prediction videos I made this year. If you want to watch any of the other prediction videos I made the past few years, you go on the playlist tab and you should find them with ease. So go do that. There's the canceled series where I go over all the movies that were supposed to come out but didn't. I never covered Dog once. Well, maybe I think it was supposed to come out like last July, but then it just got moved to this weekend. So there's that. But I didn't cover it in a video. And if I did, it wasn't like it was probably I said it in passing. So yeah, but I've recently there's now like 108 episodes of canceled. Most recent one I talked about Quiet Place 3 and the SpongeBob movie and Sonic 3, so you want to watch that. And all the others, I highly recommend it. You go nuts. You got 108 episodes. Watch them all. Watch them all in chronological order. It'll be quite the interesting experience, so go do that. There's also box office recaps where I go over the box office results for any particular month. March recap will not March February recap will come out the first week of March, either before the Batman or after the Batman. So stay tuned for that. But if you want to watch any of the past recap videos, you can go right ahead. And yeah, that's it. That's all. I am out. Goodbye.